At this point, you should have identified your learners, your objectives, and your primary way of delivering the module. And you should have a detailed set of planning cards. You've reviewed your plan, and hopefully you are set to now begin the actual development of your module. With all of that as prep work, now you get into your primary mode of delivery and start to create the actual pieces to the module. You may want to start with creating 1 or 2 small sections. Once you have developed the initial drafts, then you will have something to work from and to work with to start to think about the overall style and design. What kind and size of font will you use? What is going to be, the color style, the background, all of that kind of stuff. And in some cases, certain suggested or automatic styles will be an option. In other cases, you may need to generate your own. Generally, being consistent throughout helps your module to pull together as one cohesive unit. And in most cases, that's a really good idea. Similar to the previous challenges, there will be support tools for you to access and use. These include the interactive module, the full rubric, the full review form. So take a close look at each of these, and they will help you to see what the criteria will be for your completed module. I thought it might also be a good idea to walk you through a couple of examples and highlight some of the important elements. These should give you a good idea of what will be expected, as well as give you ideas of what the possibilities are for generating a final quality module. In this example, we're going to use a delivery mode that is a website. And so these are all different types of web pages that you can click on and go to. And notice what's happening here though. What the author has done is they have created this interactive module around a different problem that the individual has to solve. Okay, if we go down to the bottom of this page right here, it'll talk about objectives, and the overall goal is for these students to learn about different 3D shapes and how you to identify them, and how also the different descriptive factors are that go into it. So that's the objectives, but what they're doing is they're putting them in a situation. To start it off, here we're on the welcome page of this website. You see this little guy who's going to be consistent throughout, and then you can see this that he started with a video scribed introduction. Now, what he's going on right here is he's going to explain the background situation and go into detail of what happened. There was a storm at this factory, and it messed up the little figures and the things, the robots that they're creating there. And then you can go through the different areas here. I'm not going to go through them all, but I want to show you a couple things that are important here and how he has put this together. In the assembly room, for example, they have different tasks. Each of these rooms have different tasks, and it explains what those are. You go in there, and it'll say this is this kind of thing that you need to do. And so in this case, you have to start to see and have to match together different types of pieces that belong to these different robots. And so you click on this little guy to get going with it, and he now links you to a different type of game that he's found out on the internet. And you'll see that these are just basically different types of cards. So now that you've got a different kind of shape here, and this, and obviously that doesn't match. But if you look at this one, a cone, and or whatever. All right, so that you can see the different types. Oh, there's the two. And when you get a match, hooray, you've matched the cones and that. And you go through and you finish up this whole thing to finish that. And when you're done, you go back to the assembly room, and he says, okay, then you can go on to the next section. You can go in any order that you would like. Here's the machine programming area, and you go in, same type of situation. He explains what that is. He'll say that in this case you need to go into this special room, and you need to have this teacher's name in order to do that. And when you go in there, you'll understand why, because you click over there, and he's going to put you into a Socrative or a Socrative thing. We have a badge about this that goes out to this app, and you need the room number, a room name, and that's under the teacher's name. So you can do that, and you go out and you can start to work on that in that kind of situation. All right, so that's another thing. So he's using Socrative, he's used this matching game, and then he's also got a fun little thing on packaging and other things in sorting and you go in here, and here's the packaging, and you put in your name, and this is where basically what he's doing is he's testing you here to see, this is a different kind of testing, to see if you can actually do it. And so what he's got is here, he comes up with these different types of robot, and he says, now you got to put it in the right bag, or in the right, is that a cube, is it a cylinder, is it a sphere, pyramid, what is it made up of, cones or rectangular prisms or whatever, and so you start to pick out what those options would be. And as you do that, then he gives different other facts and about it, and you select those different facts. So you can see that he is quizzing the student to find out if they have understand all the different shapes and all the descriptors that go with it. So that's a different way of presenting the interactive module. Here's an example where PowerPoint is used as the delivery mode. So this is your opening slide here. You click on it, and then you go to this, and she's got the navigation that is being started right here. And there's a number of different ways. You can just click on any of these things to start yourself. It gives you the instruction here. Also, she has this little video built in there, and so you can listen to her.
Welcome to the interactive tutorial over the first two scenes in Macbeth. Today we will...
And she goes through and describes all those things and tells you can go in any of these directions that you want. So you can see how it is self-instructional. Now you go over here to click on these are different buttons, by the way. And you click on this button that says Understanding Shakespeare, and she's built in a video here. This is not one that she created herself, but she got off of YouTube or whatever. She captured that and put it within, used TechSmith Camtasia to do that. And if you play that video, then it is a video about a professor somewhere, I think at Penn State or wherever, that is describing.
Talk a little bit about dealing with Shakespeare's language.
Shakespeare's language. So he goes in and talks about that. When you get done with that, there's buttons to get her back to this place so that she can go on, to the different things. You can look at, for example, at the characters, and there's different characters here. And again, a menu to go with. If you want to look at the Weird Sisters, then you click on there, and it says the Weird Sisters are 3 possibly, and it explains that. Notice what she also does up here is that she's always constantly giving them help from an audio point of view. So if you need some further information, you just click up there.
The 3 Weird Sisters. The Weird Sisters are 3...
And she basically is explaining what's going on so that you can make sure that you're on task with what is there. It talks about that. When you get done with that, you click on here, and you go in here, and then she's got another video that's incorporated here from Polanski's 1971 movie of this. All right, so she does that, and then notice what else she's got in here. Here is, after this part, now she wants you to write something down. So she's really making the student interact with the module itself, and I think that's what's so good about this, and it's totally different than the normal PowerPoint and how PowerPoint is used. You're using these action buttons, you're using places where you can add information, and all of these kind of things, and lots of different types of buttons and other areas that she can go to, menus and stuff, and integrating both audio and video directories and information. So that you can see is one very good and very interesting way in which to use this and to develop this interactive module. In this interactive module, you'll notice that this is for English, probably juniors in your English secondary ed, and it's about research and citations. And in this situation, the author has decided to put them within kind of a CSI, so they're a crime investigative type of situation for the students, and it's based on everything about that. And this is done within, this module is done within a website. And so she has different pages for the different things that are there. So you look down and you can kind of read through some of the stuff that is there, and when you're ready to get started, this sets the stage, by the way, so that you know what's going on. And then down here you get started, you click on that, and it takes you right to the next page, which is research and citations. And you'll start to see that what she wants you to do at first is to be certified as a detective. And to do that, you have to have certain background knowledge. And so her module is going to walk you through this different background knowledge that you have to have. To do that, she can send you out here to this module, which happens to be an added-on PowerPoint presentation that she did to give some background information. Then she also wants individuals to fill out these super note cards. And so she's, the idea that maybe they don't even know how to do it. So she has created some screencasts to help walk you through that so that you understand how to do that. Very simply done, similar to the screencast that I'm using right now. All right, little things about upload, login information, etc., and other screencasts to take you on from there. When you get all the way done with that, then you're now a trained detective, and so you enter the crime scene. And by clicking on this simple thing, it just takes you to the next page. and that page says, okay, now it's time for you to investigate and do different things, and she sets up a different situation here. You've got this, you're supposed to follow these type of procedures and then figure out what the answer is to certain things. And you go through and you can look at a rubric to help you. This is evidence of certain types of annotated bibliographies, all of that kind of stuff. It's all built within there. And then she wants you to make a case for what you have decided on. And to do that, you need to make a presentation. Well, she wants you to do a Prezi presentation, but she's not sure if you can do that or not. So she's given you a video here that is about, it's a get started with Prezi type of presentation information. She just took this right off of YouTube, all right, and inserted it here within this web page. So it made it very simple for her to drop those in. These are kind of secondary elements that she's been adding to it. Here is a rubric for that presentation, so that individuals will know what their presentation is going to be, how it's going to be looked at, et cetera, et cetera. And then finally, when you get done with all of that, it's time for some type of assessment. So she goes to this last page, which is the assessment page, and she's got a Google form here with some questions on it. And you can fill that out, and it's recorded for each of the students, and then she can determine how well they've done it and how well they've learned, and also give the formative feedback on what needs to be included within or added or adapted within the unit itself. So all of that is there. She's even got some extra things over here at the end. One of those things are resources that maybe you would need extra things, such as on annotation or what is research, or even taking you to the Purdue Online Writing Lab to help you understand some of the things that are there. So that added little things that have been done. All of this is just part of that interactive module that students can go in and work on at their own pace and to complete the things that they need to. So you can see how advantageous this is to have this type of module when you're teaching these ideas of research and citations.